for sure. Definitely. Yeah. Insane. 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 My theater gave Toby a standing ovation for a pretty long time, honestly. Like
Did
it was a good like 25, 30 seconds.
did he get a bigger reaction than Andrew Garfield did in your theater?
Yeah. Like we were all
Wait,
like
real
going
quick, real
crazy.
quick, Christian, are we
for a-
live right now? Because I see
Oh
the
yeah, are we live?
image. I just don't want to be. Just don't want to be talking about what we're talking about. Okay.
I was gonna say like no. Thank you, Jack.
I don't hear our voices, but I just wanted to be very careful.
Yo.
Oh, I'm hearing audio. I'm hearing audio.
Oh no. Oh god.
I'm hearing
Oh,
things I
no.
shouldn't be hearing.
Oh no. I like to apologize. Profusely, I like to apologize. Well, I'm playing Death's Door. That's pretty cool.
Jack, I saw your tweet that you said people were throwing shit at the movie theater.
Yes.
Yeah, what was
I
up with that? Yeah, please give me that context. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Mike was there too. We had
So what
just the
happened?
most rambunctious theater. It was
Oh,
literally
no.
like one of the worst, probably the worst theater experience we've ever had. It was
What kind
awful.
of like
People were
popcorn? How far away were they chucking it? Was it going over people's heads?
No, it was like the
probably
people in the front. Like
Okay.
first
they were
few
sitting
rows.
They
like in
were
the front,
chucking
you know.
popcorn?
Oh, audio's still
They're-
on.
They were chucking popcorn.
Was it okay if we just don't talk about spoilers with Spider-Man?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Just no more spoilers. But wait,
You can't silence us. You need to hear this.
Son comes on screen. It was
Yeah, it was
crazy,
awful.
man.
It was
Because sometimes
really
you like.
awful.
Sorry, what's up? Yeah, sure.
Mhm. Yep.
Sure.
indeed.
Yes, sir.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the fourth and final Hall of Game ceremony for 2021. My name is Christian Buckley. Joining me is the panel of the Hall of Game. As usual, we'll go same order. I don't know how. We've had multiple different versions of this Discord call, and same exact layout every single time. Starting to the left of me on screen, Mike Connors. How are you?
I'm great. I'm happy to be here. Excited to talk about some video games.
Glad to be back. Jack Martin is here as well. How you doing, Jack?
Hello, I'm doing good. Happy to have a nice little holiday wrap up with a holiday game. So happy to be here.
Yes. Beneath him, Kevin Diaz. How you doing?
Oh, I see Jack. Holiday wrap up with the Hall of Game. You know what I'm
Deck
saying?
the hall.
You know what I'm saying? What's going on? Missed the last one. You know what I'm saying? Which I have some questions. Do I have some questions?
You can ask those questions in just a second. Rounding out the panel, Omar Nakvi. How are you doing, Omar?
What's up? Yeah, Mirror's Edge is a great game. One of the all-time greats, and I'm back.
Okay.
How's it going?
So
You got real funky last time.
It did get funky, yes. So if you're watching this for the first time, if you don't know what the Hall game is, it's basically a stupid, fun little ceremony thing we decided to do to create and grow a list of in our opinion, the best games of all time. Currently, there are 6. There's 6 games in the Hall of Game right now. Does anyone know all of them off the top of their head on the panel?
Yeah.
Omar, let's hear it.
Wii Sports, Mario 64, Fallout New Vegas, Apex Legends, Mirror's Edge, Portal 2.
Good job. Those are all the games that we have deemed as a panel to be greatest of all time, GOATs, untouchable. They're in the hall. We'll be electing 2 more games out of the presentations we have in store tonight to round out the first inaugural class of the Hall of Game for 2021. The way it works, we each have, I think, 6 minutes for a presentation, followed by Q&A afterwards. Everybody can ask the presenter to defend a game. If it's a good game, which most of the things we're bringing we at least feel are good, it's the panel's job to make sure it's not just riding hype. There's genuine reasons for it to get in. Maybe we're asking critical questions we don't even believe in, but they're popular things that get discussed around the game. It's a process to get in. At the end of the night, we're going to be voting on this. The way voting works, it's going to be confessional cam style. Chat, just watching, one presenter at a time. We have a 1 point vote to award, a 3-point vote to award, and a 5-point vote to award. Each game will have its votes tallied. The top 2 get in, and then we will have 8 games for 2021 that we decided were GOATs. That is the typical way it's done. As Kevin mentioned, last time there was 4 of us. Things changed a bit. Still went out all right, I think. The top 2 games both tied with each other, so those got in. Also, in the event of a tie tonight, the game that had the most people vote for it will be the one to get in. Panel, do we have questions? Kevin, do you have questions about the last ceremony?
I'm assuming Mirror's Edge was Omar's game. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was me.
Okay. We don't need to go too long. Just give me like a little 30-second pitch. You know what I'm saying?
It's just I just think it gets that first person camera better than I think most other games do, and you get that sense of momentum when you're going really fast and running. And I think it feels scary when you fall off a building, which I think is kind of cool in a video game. It just gets it. If you have an Xbox,
I hear you.
Series S or X, you can play in 60 frames per second and 4K on these new platforms, and it holds up great. I think. I don't know. Any of you guys revisit it after that?
I have it downloaded. Me too.
I do want to play it in 60 frames. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it is.
I did play it as a kid, but I don't I definitely didn't beat it. Maybe spent a few hours on it. I don't know. But I'm gonna respect it, Omar, because I might need your assistance on this game I'm bringing. You know what I'm saying, Omar? I think we could co-op this one. You know what I'm saying, Omar?
I'm smiling. If you brought what I think you brought, then I'm all in. I'm all
Omar,
in.
I know.
We'll see, baby. We'll see, baby.
I know Kevin really likes Ghost Runner, right? And that's first person parkour.
Facts.
So
yeah, facts.
I don't know why you have questions if you love that game so much. You know.
I just don't hear like Mirror's Edge like get talked about that much. You know what I'm saying? Other than the sequel that did not pan out, that everyone thought that they wanted, but ended up not wanting.
I still want a good
that's all.
sequel,
You know what I'm saying?
but that one was just like
I respect it. No,
Yeah,
I respect it.
People wanted a sequel, just not that sequel.
Yeah.
I respect it.
It was like a weird
Also,
prequel sequel,
but-
right?
Yeah, that was a
yes.
bad choice.
Okay.
But
Mirror's Edge needs
If-
a VR mode to make me
Yeah.
throw up.
but y'all need to play Ghost Runner though. If you like Mirror's Edge, play Ghost Runner. The game's awesome.
So now that that's handled, we did have a layout before in terms of how we select people. It's a random wheel spin. But before I begin the spinning, are there questions about the process or anything? Anybody need refreshers, or are we good to go?
I think
I'm good.
We're good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
All right. The wheel has been spun. It is still spinning. And first to present is Omar.
great, awesome. I'm very unprepared.
We can mulligan. We can do it again if you need a minute.
No, it's all right. This is gonna be as good as it ever will be. So,
Okay.
are
So-
you ready?
I will enhance on you for
Enhance me.
the stream.
Enhance me. All right.
Enhance.
You've been enhanced.
Enhance.
Thank you. Am I in 4K now?
Yes.
Great.
In full 360p. So
All right. I'm gonna start it then. And
I'll start a timer also for you.
all right. Let me know when you're rolling.
Okay. Do you want a warning halfway through or?
I probably won't even get halfway through before I'm done.
Okay. All right. Whenever you're ready.
All right. Let's go. When we think about Battle Royale, we think about squads rolling into the map from huge airplanes. They fall a great distance and they do their business, and only one squad can be the true victors. And has there ever been a more iconic squad than Paul, John, George, and Ringo? I'd wager not. I'd wager these are some of the four most iconic horsemen to ever battle in the Royale of music. And they did so from the streets of Liverpool and had a huge, illustrious career, only spanning 10 years, but put out some of the best albums of all time, like Sgt. Pepper's Only Hearts Club Band, The White Album, Abbey Road. There's a lot of others. Revolver, Rubber Soul, that's one. They had contemporaries too, but they weren't as iconic. But I do like some of them. Anyways, the Beatles. They're a great band, you can't deny it. And at some point, someone decided, at the height of the classic instrument scene, let's make a video game out of this. And it wasn't just simply 50 DLC songs for Rock Band 2, no. It was a masterpiece of a museum dedicated to really celebrating the art of every era, every album, and really cared about the aesthetic and bringing it into a generation that was truthfully like 50 years past their prime. And they did this. They basically made Harmonix, made 50 brand new music videos and really great song charts for all of these games, all these songs, and it resulted in a transcendent experience that generations could bond and play with each other with. I'm talking about Beatles Rock Band. I don't know if I said that already, but it's a really great game. Probably the best plastic instrument music game. It is the best plastic music instrument game because not only was it just a fun night with your drunk friends. I was 13 when it came out, so I never got drunk. But it was like it felt like someone really just cared. And in the same way you go to a museum and you see what a curator has picked out, this was some people's visions of probably one of the most, if not the most influential band. And it was in a package that really, I'll be honest. Sometimes I heard a Beatles song on the radio. I heard Yellow Submarine from my parents, and I was like, what the fuck is this? You like this shit? But seeing it in the Beatles rock band and understanding how much care and love there was between each of these songs, I think it was an amazing experience, and that's where I really found my love for this band. And it's not just me. Tom Hanks also loves this game, and his wife. They both think this game is awesome. So I don't know. That's all I have for today. The Beatles rock band. It was great. I miss rock band. Thank you. You don't have to clap, but thank you.
Fuck yeah.
All right, I will take it. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Very nice.
Do you guys think I was gonna talk about a battle royale game?
For a second.
The old
That's how it
OR
started.
bait and
I
switch.
forgot.
Okay.
I have to say, like, I have to pull all the logos, so like I know what everybody brought. That was an incredible way to present the Beatles rock band.
Okay,
With
cool,
that,
man.
that was so good. Oh man. Okay, so as per usual, Q&A is not timed. Anybody's got questions, throw them Omar's way, and we'll go until we have no more questions. Who has a question?
I just got one.
Yo, what's up, Kevin?
I just have one question. Hello, Omar. How are you? So I was really addicted to Guitar Hero 2, right? And I did not play Rock Band Beatles. I did have regular Rock Bands, but I also played the critically acclaimed DJ Hero as well. You know what?
Ahead
I'm
of its
saying?
time.
So it truly, maybe should not have existed, but you know it is what it is. Is there something specific that Rock Band Beatles does to like separate itself from like classic Rock Band? Like, is there like a specific gimmick, if you will, or mechanic or something like that, or is it really just like Rock Band but in a Beatles like format, like with the Beatles songs, which is fine, but like I was wondering if there's something that differentiates itself with it.
Truthfully, it is a lot like just Rock Band but with Beatles songs, but it isn't as well, because if you think about it, do you remember, was it Rock Band AC/DC, or was that a Guitar Hero? Guitar Hero, Rock Band, Green Day?
Green Day Rock Band was Rock Band, yeah.
Those are coming out at the same time, and those were often just like song packs, basically, for regular Rock Band. There wasn't much theming around it, or I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know you guys are Green Day nuts.
I did have the Green Day Rock Band one. It was like, it had like the models and like was replicating stages from their performances and stuff. But I've only played Beatles and Green Day out of the themed ones. I haven't played like the other ones, so this could have just been a flash in the pan thing.
Would you say that the Beatles Rock Band had more theming to it than Green Day did? Or am I just wrong? Could be wrong.
I mean, I remember Beatles Rock Band specifically, like this, all the Sgt. Pepper stuff was like real trippy, and like Green Day stuff never really went there. It was like, oh, it's the Dookie stage from that performance, and like the American Idiot stage from them. So
yeah, I feel like the Beatles Rock Band was really good at like it was taking the best of Rock Band, which was playing it with those real instruments and your friends, but just theming it around it and like really paying attention to each and every one of those Beatles eras, right? You have all the crazy LSD stuff, and the colors are going crazy, but then you have the real like Abbey Road like rooftop shit, or was that, I don't know, I haven't watched that whole documentary yet, but it just feels like there was a level of care to each specific Beatles era that all happened within 10 years, and it just feels like a love letter, I suppose. So that band. Rock Band's great. I think Rock Band 2 is awesome. It's just like it doesn't have that like that connective tissue that I think Beatles Rock Band does, which is why it's my favorite.
Oh, go ahead, Mike.
Is there a favorite song of yours in the Beatles Rock Band to play?
That Octopus's Garden, I think, has the best video in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. What's
I
yours?
don't think I could even. Oh no,
me? I've never haven't played Beatles Rock Band personally, so I can't say. But yeah, no, Octopus's Garden, great song.
Yeah. Jack. or Christian? I don't know.
You
Who
go,
was talking?
Christian.
Okay.
So, because of the way licenses work, do you think the fact that the Beatles Rock Band is probably, to my knowledge at least, only playable if you have the disc and like all the instruments, like, is that a detriment, or do you think that just because of the type of game it is, like that's something that you can just like pass on because like this was obviously a different era, so is that like forgiven, I guess?
Yeah, it's not like, I mean, I really want them to remaster this.
Yeah, that'd be
But,
awesome.
like,
That'd be really cool.
yeah, I have a PS3 here with my original PS3 instruments, but I also have PS4 instruments, but I can't use the PS4 instruments on the PS3. So that's a problem. So yeah, no, I'm bringing this here in a campaign. If anyone at Harmonix or Apple, whoever, Paul, if you're out there,
Harmonix
please.
got bought by Epic, right?
Yeah,
They
Didn't it,
did.
like, just happen?
They're
What
gonna
if-
make
Yeah.
Fortnite music.
yeah,
right here.
Fortnite Beatles. What if that's next?
Well,
what if the VR metaphor comes full circle?
I guess I'll bring Fortnite next time. I don't know.
Okay.
I think, no hate on Epic. I think they do some tremendous stuff with their live music performances. Honestly, in the same way that I think that's probably why they picked up Harmonix, because the Beatles Rock Band was just so good at it. But yeah, I don't think it's a detriment, but I would really love to be able to play this game now on modern instruments and modern consoles.
Yeah, it's the same.
It's a bummer because I think it's very likely that it won't happen, and this game will be lost to time.
Tragic.
Jack.
The rhythm wave with plastic instruments sort of passed me by. I played like Guitar Hero 3, but that was it. Did this become like one of the fan favorite rock bands, or like how was this sort of viewed by people who liked the genre?
I think this one's kind of looked at as a crowning jewel, a melding of a game at its height, and it was something that was only possible when Rock Band was the biggest thing, right? Like, you can't imagine Harmonix doing this now. Even they still make Rock Band songs, but it just wasn't. It's just not possible now. It was only possible in that one specific window, and I think a lot of people have fondness for it because of that.
Do you think that like this would be the rhythm game out of like the Guitar Hero Rock Band series? Because there's a lot of them. Like,
Yeah.
if there was only ever going to be one that could get in, do you think Beatles Rock Band is like the definitive one to put in?
This was my favorite because it felt like an educational game to me in a way that like and not as annoying as those games could be, but it just had a bit of an effect on me, I guess. I think, and I love Rock Band. I love Guitar Hero 3. That was the one I played a lot of too. I didn't play 2. That was before my time. But yeah, personally, this is my favorite. I will absolutely hear if anyone wants to bring Guitar Hero at some point. In my perfect mind, I think this game can sit right next to Guitar Hero 3. Someday. But I do think this game absolutely deserves the spot first.
Fair.
That's all.
I see.
Guitar Hero
I
had
would fight for
better
Guitar Hero
guitars.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. The frets felt clickier. I like that.
I didn't play the Rock Band Beatles. I only played like the bass Rock Band. So I can't speak to the Beatles thing, but like I can imagine how like they would adapt it specifically for a group or an artist, etc. Like I can get how like that would be awesome. So
Imagine 50 brand new unique Ariana Grande festival performances in Beatles.
that'd be fire.
Yeah, that was Beatles Rock Band. It's crazy.
I hear you.
Yeah.
How
Thank you, everyone.
how many songs? Also, last question, real quick.
I can't look. I feel like it was about 50.
Like it was, there were deep cuts in there, right? It wasn't just all hits.
There were deep cuts.
Okay.
Like they got into the weird shit,
Okay.
which is I think awesome.
Solid. All right. Any more questions for Omar?
Thanks, everyone.
Good.
Good
I
job.
think I'm good. Actually, you know what? I do have one fun one. Is there so I believe I'm pretty sure it was Guitar Hero 2. Those that know, correct me if I'm wrong, but like one of the most like iconic like Guitar Hero 2 things, or just Guitar Hero in general, was expert level Through the Fire and the Flames. You know, is there like a Beatles equivalent that game had? Like, was there like that one song that like was near impossible, or is that just not like the style of the game?
I don't think there's anything quite to the level of Through the Fire and Flames out there.
Right. Okay.
But no, I don't think so.
Okay.
But
Or just like a challenging song or whatever, you know.
there was definitely stuff like there's that Beatles song. What's that one? Is it anybody can play guitar? There's that one that like has like 3 different song changes basically in it.
Yeah, that came to mind too. Because like there's a song that you think stops, and like the track just is like keeps going. It's like, okay, where's my score? And then like more notes come up, and you're like, oh shit, I already put the thing down. Like that. I mean, that's tricky.
Yeah, there's stuff like that. But truthfully, I think a lot of the time the Beatles songs were a little simple. Not as a detriment, but you know, anybody can play guitar. I don't know, Ratatouille.
Right.
I can only think of A Day in the Life. I don't know if that's the song you're talking about.
I don't know.
There's a lot of weird stuff going on in that song.
Yeah. All right. The wheel has been spun. Next up, Jack Martin.
Lovely. Is that a colorful wheel that you're spinning, Christian? I've always wondered.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is multicolored.
Primary and secondary colors. That's
yes.
Cool.
What's everyone's color, Christian?
What's my color? Yeah, I'm just curious.
Mike and Omar are both blue. I am red.
We blue pilled.
Kevin is yellow, and Jack is also yellow.
Cool. I'm going to share my screen. If you guys could
close
your eyes briefly. Yeah.
Okay.
It shouldn't be that. Shouldn't be that long.
Okay.
Can someone let me know if they see this in a full screen format?
I do. Let me just move the layout very slightly so chat can see it fine. Okay. You are good on the big screen.
Okay, I'm gonna commence. So remember last time when I was talking about maybe nominating some of the lesser obvious choices? I brought up Battlefront 2, not a 10 out of 10 game, but very fun. I've decided to continue not doing that. I want to talk about the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim because it's awesome. I think a large part of that is it's really cool open world. I think it has a very dense map that you can get very easily lost in the best possible way. Every region of the map has its own distinct capital, and it has its own biome in different political landscape with different squabbles of factions that you can run into and see what they're up to. Different places that you can go and do random activities in that will just draw you away from whatever you're doing. Again, in like a really good way. Like, I think this game is distracting in a way where you're doing something and then there's 5 other things that pop up that draw your attention away and just keep you playing. And I think for the most part, each location is pretty interesting, and it's especially the dungeons and things that you'll delve. I think mostly during the main quest is really interesting, but off the beaten path is really cool too. And that's what's cool about this game is that I think the main story and the side quests are both excellent. They really harp on dragons in this game, and I don't think it ages very well these days because they're kind of just big tanks that you go up and slash the sword at until they die. But at the time, it was really cool, and I think becoming the Dragonborn follows a really interesting story in terms of like getting shouts and things that you can mess around with and having like these different powers that you can fool around with. I think the side quests are probably even the best part of the game, like being a mage at the College of Winterhold, which is essentially Hogwarts, or becoming an assassin for the Dark Brotherhood. There's kind of something for everyone here, or being like a thief from the Thieves Guild. There's just a lot of cool stuff in this game. It's also very much an RPG, and there's like a lot of the gameplay is focused on how you want to play. So there's different options from focusing on spells to using the traditional sword and shield combination, or just kind of doing whatever and doing everything, which is kind of how I play. I love to use spells, but I also like to be an archer, or sometimes I like to be a sword in one hand, spell in another, or I just kind of like to mix it up, and Skyrim's there for you. I think the skills tree is really fun to invest in, and the perks can be really, really cool. Like, if you are into lockpicking, you can eventually get to lockpicking 100, and one of the skills there is your lockpicks will never break. Like, those are just some of the small little fun perks that you'll get that I think Bethesda's really good at doing in its games, and is especially good in Skyrim. And even the grinding can be fun. This can be a really good podcast game, which it has been for me. Or I'll listen to audiobooks and just get my enchanting up to 100, or like make 1,000 iron daggers and get my smithing to 100 so I can make dragon armor. It's really fun even in the dull moments. It's also very meme worthy. I like to include this in some of the games that I bring up. I think that's part of its lasting appeal. There's just the repeatable NPC dialogue that people will remember when it comes to Skyrim. And I think it was like kind of one of the first RPGs I remember finding mainstream success, and I think that was kind of a large part because of its goofiness. Like, a giant hitting you 1,000 feet in the air was really funny, even though it was like not a game breaking bug, but it like brought you out of the experience. It was hilarious, and I think you kind of expect that from Bethesda games, and I feel like that's kind of a big part of why people love them, because they're kind of really silly. And it's still beloved to this day, and it's kind of a joke that Bethesda keeps re-releasing Skyrim. But it's kind of a reason why people keep buying it, because it's just kind of awesome. Like, I got it on its anniversary, and I haven't really played it all that much yet, but I'm going to over the break because I love diving back into the world. I've probably played through Skyrim like a good 4 times by now, and I'm just going to keep doing it. I think it's probably very dated in a lot of ways. Like, it's not a beautiful looking game by any means. No Bethesda game really is. But it's really fun. Like, it has those core elements of adventure and role playing, and I think that still feels great today. So that is all.
You got 2 minutes left. Do you need any more?
No. Skyrim's fun. Big fun.
Okay.
Woo! I'm clapping.
I was waiting, like, when is Skyrim gonna pull up? Like,
I had to do it on its anniversary. It's close to its anniversary.
I respect it. Absolutely.
10 years old.
I have a
It's
question.
really
Jack.
fucked up when you think about it. Yeah, Mike.
So why Skyrim over? I understand that it's the newest one in the Elder Scrolls saga, right? It definitely has that like lasting cultural impact. But on a gameplay level, like, how do you think this one improves upon like the ones that came before it, and like, why do you like this one better?
That's a great question, because I've never played an Elder Scrolls game other than Skyrim. And I think a lot of people are in the same boat. Like, I think this was kind of the one to draw them in. And I think it was because at the time, not today, but graphics were getting better, and this game looked really good, like comparing it to like Fallout New Vegas, which was a year before, or like Fallout 3, and those types of Bethesda games. And also, I feel like from Oblivion, which I think was in 2005 or 6, it just looked like radically improved. And I remember like the early Todd Howard playthrough where he was like, see that mountain, you could go up it, and like that was so cliche at the time, but it was true. Who knew that you'd be doing it on a horse and just cheesing your way up to the top of the mountain, which is how I found the Greybeards. I didn't go up the actual path. I literally took a horse and went up there because I thought that's kind of what you're supposed to do. But yeah, I think a lot of people were really impressed by like the way it looked at the time, and like I think dragons were like a 2011 phase kind of thing, and it just kind of hit at that time. So I feel like that's kind of why it stuck for a lot of people.
I love this game, but I've never beaten the main quest because, as you made a point to talk about in your presentation, you can get sidetracked easily, and I think a lot of the side quests are more interesting than the early hours of the main quest. Do you think that is something that is remedied by the time you beat Alduin or whatever you do at the end of the game, or If not, is that a problem, or is it fine just because everything else is good? Is there more to this game than just the hype around it?
I will compare it to a McDonald's meal. I think a Big Mac or the main menu item is very good, but the French fries rule, and the Sprite is like crack cocaine, and that honestly becomes the main part of the meal. Right, you get the main quest out of the way, but then you want to return for the good stuff. And that's really what the side quests are all about. Like, I think the main quest is really interesting and really fun to play through, and progressing like as like the main hero in the world. But I want to go steal stuff as a thief, or I want to go assassinate people as a member of the Dark Brotherhood, or I want to like learn spells and like role play and like put like college mage robes on and like hold a torch in my left hand and the spell in another, because I think that's kind of the most fun part of the game.
Do you think this game ruined video games forever?
Yes. No,
Okay.
I don't really know.
All right.
I think it was very hype at the time, and I think this was kind of one of the games that really like lived up to the hype. Maybe it contributed to hype culture. I don't know if that's what you're getting at, but
Sometimes I think, like, I don't mean to launch a counter argument, but like when this game came out, like it was kind of buggy. I remember like I was playing it at launch and I totally like got I got bugged out of the main quest at some point.
mhm.
It always broke my heart. And then like, I remember hearing like the PS3 version like stop working after like 60 hours or whatever, and
Holy shit.
experiences like that. And then I feel like it's like a precedent where like a couple years after Master Chief Collection came out, broke as fuck. Fallout 4 was that the same year, also having issues, all eventually leading into Cyberpunk being bunk at launch because publishers thought they can just release buggy games and fix it later or get modders to fix it. And I mean no hate, but this game ruined my life.
No, I 100% hear that. I know the PS3 version didn't work because I originally got this on 360, and then like years later got it when I got my PS3, and I had to restart the game multiple times just to get through like the opening quest because my carriage would be like in the sky when I started, and like years later,
That's
and it was
awesome,
like still bugged. Yeah, it was layers.
Yeah.
Eventually I got through it, but I wouldn't say that was Skyrim's. I don't think Skyrim started that because I think that's always been a Bethesda issue, like Fallout 3 and like even New Vegas and things like that. They all have like game breaking bugs. I think that it's more to the scale of the game, and like there's like 1,000 moving parts to it, and something's gonna break for someone. But yeah, I think it's probably more reflective of like the industry rather than like the specific game itself, because I think a lot of games had issues like that, and even before Skyrim.
Yeah, you're right.
So I'm not super into like the medieval genre, if you will, right? So even like Skyrim's like a tough sell for me. As Christian has bothered me plenty of time about it. You know what I'm saying? But is there something in Skyrim that you truly feel like maybe back when you first played it back in the day that you felt that was truly ahead of its time that gets unsung, or that just doesn't get talked about a lot? Like, is there something that you remember of a first-hand experience or like just seen or heard about that you felt was ahead of its time?
I don't know if I could think of anything that was ahead of its time in Skyrim, because I feel like it was more of like a refinement of what Bethesda was already doing and just like improving on like the formula that Oblivion and like Morrowind and stuff laid out. But I think for me, like the thing that struck me about this was like the word of mouth around it. I remember being like in a Xbox 360 party, and like my friend was playing the opening of this game, and he was just describing it to the other two of us who were in the party, and we were like, all right, we kind of need this game. So I feel like maybe for like our generation, this was kind of that game that blew up, that wasn't the Call of Duty or like the typical game you would expect to just sort of be, I don't know, very present in what was going on at the time, and like it certainly like didn't come out of the blue. Like Bethesda's a very popular publisher, but
Right.
I feel like for a lot of people, it was like, wow, this is doing something we haven't really experienced, at least like during our age. So yeah, I feel like for me, it was a lot of people just like talking about this game at a time where it was kind of a new experience to have like this big RPG for maybe for people our age, I think. And I think this is kind of the start of that for our age group, I think.
Yeah. I got a lot of respect for Skyrim, you know, like in spite of like me like not like really being into the genre or whatever. I like understand its impact, you know, and I got mad respect for it. So.
I'm not a big fantasy guy either, but this kind of just did it for me. Because I feel like there's stuff that is like more down to earth and like less like silly made up kind of thing, which I really don't like in a lot of fantasy things. Like I like things that I can understand and kind of relate to in like a, I guess like our setting, like the Thieves Guild or whatever. That makes sense to me. A group of like assassins or whatever, that makes sense to me. Like that could exist in any setting really.
Right.
I like the College of Winterhold a lot, even though that is very fantasy wise. But I just, like I said, I kind of equated that to Harry Potter. So that there are all these like touchstones that kind of made me able to get into that, despite not really liking fantasy all that much compared to like sci-fi.
How's the music?
Music's amazing. Do some homework to that.
Any other questions?
No,
That was
I
a
guess,
good pregnant pause, guys. That was good.
I can say also,
was
like,
good.
I wasn't a fantasy guy when I played Skyrim, but it was, like, accessible enough that I think that's why. Because, like, it sold like crazy, right? Like,
Yeah.
it was a weird game to blow up, I feel like. But then everyone was obsessed with it for that, like, for a few
Decade.
months, a year. Yeah, a decade, truly. Yeah.
I think it showed very well. I think it previewed like incredibly well, where people could like watch a dragon fight and be like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll try that, and it was really
Right.
fun.
Yeah. Arrow to the knee was a huge meme as well.
Yeah,
Shout out to that. Shout out to
Honestly, it was that game and, like, Reddit were blowing up at the same time.
that. Damn.
And
You're
society
not
was
wrong.
destroyed.
Kind of true, yeah.
Skyrim was the start of the end of society.
Yeah, 20. No, it was 2011, not 2012.
Oh, true.
Hey, that.
It was the
that
end of
one movie.
2011.
It was the end of 2011. Yeah.
True. Hey,
Yeah,
it was right there. It was right there.
Nice.
I can't believe you said that was the most recent Elder Scrolls game. That's fucked up.
yeah. And the next Elder Scrolls game will probably be in like another 4 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
2025. Can't wait.
Yep. hmm
Uh,
On the PS5 Pro.
yep.
Indeed.
No,
No, on the Xbox Series X too.
Oh wait, no, damn it, it won't.
Oh, you're
God
right.
Damn it, Jack. Damn it, Jack.
You're right.
I forgot.
Oh well.
All right.
Xbox Series Z.
Mhm. All right. Well, good job, Jack.
Thank you. I
Love to
want
see
to
it.
play this game now.
Shout out to Skyrim.
The wheel has been spun. I am next. Where did my PowerPoint go? Hold on a second, everybody. Okay.
Does everyone else have a PowerPoint?
I do.
You have a PowerPoint too? Okay. Okay.
Do you have one, Kevin?
No, I like me and Omar style. We're gonna just wing it. You know, yo, I have some notes and we're gonna wing it, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I liked your Black Ops video from a couple
I
months
did
ago.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did too. It's been busy. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
no, I get you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll do one next time. I got you. I got you. I got you.
Hold on. One sec.
I do have some audio though, Omar. So
Okay.
that might help. It might help. You know what I'm saying?
If it's some nice acoustic guitars by the fire, I'm ready.
Hey. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows?
Okay. I don't think my PowerPoint has spoilers in it, but if everybody wants to close eyes for a brief sec, would be appreciated. Just gonna make sure this works. 1 second. Okay. Can everybody see my screen? It should just be a blue screen with a white tab. Activate Windows down there, exposing me.
Did you do this on Prezi?
No, I did this on Google Slides. So,
Okay, that's cool.
I got a timer going for myself. Everything looking fine. We can see it full screen.
Yeah, all good.
Okay, cool.
Looks good.
All right. Also, warning, I had music supposed to be on some of these slides, but it fucked up, so you'll see things in the corner of the screen that say things. Just ignore those. I didn't have time to change it. Okay. All right. So I want to preface this saying that I know gamers love to hate things. They love to act like they know everything. We've all been probably guilty of this, at least having a preconceived idea of something going into it. People love citing Metacritic as the end-all be-all of goodness, worthiness of a game. So for this presentation, I'm just saying to the panel, please just take a second, take a step back, take a ride with me, follow me, just explore the possibility that maybe something you're expecting could actually be good even if it doesn't seem good. Because I think every game we put into the Hall of Game has to be representative of something good. Of course, that is going to be what we're talking about today, the blue-collar worker of gaming, Sonic the Hedgehog, specifically in this game, Sonic Adventure DX. Stream is frozen, apparently. 1 second. Let me fix something real quick. I'll turn my cam off. Okay. Just taking a quick second to make sure the stream's good. I think we should be okay now. So yeah, Sonic Adventure DX Director's Cut is the game that I'm bringing today. The history of this game, Sonic Adventure came out in 1998. It was the best-selling Dreamcast game. It reviewed very well. Edge magazine even called it a worthy rival to Mario 64. Mario 64 is in the Hall of Game already. It was the first true 3D Sonic game after a long line of 2D games. In 2001, Sega revealed that they'd no longer be one of the big three, because Sega used to be a console manufacturer before PlayStation and Xbox came in and messed everything up. It did not look good for them. The Dreamcast failed, the Saturn failed, and they needed to do or die. And what they chose to do was become a publisher only. They wanted to take their gem, one of their better games from their final years, and make it the best it could be to expand their audience, grow Sega, and be able to exist to this day. So specifically, Sonic Adventure DX came out as the product of this effort. It was released on a Nintendo console after a very long time of having a rivalry with Sega, which was very groundbreaking at the time. Sonic Adventure DX specifically made a few changes to Sonic Adventure. The main ones being updated camera control, 60 frames versus the 30 that was in standard Sonic Adventure. New character models, as you can see in this graphic right here. The ones on the right side right here are the newer character models, which are updated, more angular, more realistic, less rounded, more polygons to work with. And you can also have a unlock through completing every single mission, every medallion. You'd be able to get a new character, Metal Sonic, which you can find in the game as well, which is pretty cool. You go through a level towards the end of the game, and Metal Sonic's just chilling there. You're like, damn, it would be cool to play as him. You can. You just gotta do your work. What the actual game is a lot of variety. This is iconic right here. This is a image that was used to show the technical showcases that are present throughout all of Sonic Adventure. Each character, you got 6 of them. You got Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Big, Amy, Gamma. All of them play differently. Sonic obviously gets to the end of the level as fast as he can. Tails is kind of sin and punishment. Knuckles is a scavenger hunt sort of thing. Big the Cat it sucks, but you don't have to like play all of his stuff. Also, he's fishing. It takes a long time. Fishing's supposed to be kind of frustrating, so maybe it was the intent. Amy's kind of a survival game, which is really weird. And then Gamma is very, very shockingly deep for a children's video game. He is a robot who has an animal that is powering him. He has siblings who have an animal inside them powering them. They are captive there against their will. So his campaign is a shoot 'em up. You have to go through level after level at the end, kill your siblings, and free the little bird inside of them because the animal life is more important than the robotic life. And at the end, you off yourself. The music is also worth mentioning. It is such a time capsule of this period of time, and I haven't really been able to experience a soundtrack like the music in this game because Sega really is just able to capture a vibe that feels radically different than anything else. In conclusion, Sonic Adventure saved Sega. It is a cultural reset because it spawned a show on the Kids WB network. It was retelling the story of the game. It introduced Crush 40, who's super iconic for kind of games now at this point. The Sonic Symphony was this year. It's at 3 million views on YouTube. They specifically had a 30-minute set playing a lot of music from these games. Sonic Adventure 3 is something that literally everybody just wants who's played these games. You can play this game currently on GameCube, PS3, 360, the series consoles, PC, and Sega's alive and well today because of this game. And we have Yakuza now, so that's pretty good. And we'll skip the video. Thank you. That's it.
Yeah! Do we clap after Q&A? I can't tell.
You can do both. You can do
cool.
both.
All right. Sweet job.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes, Jack.
Is this the Sonic game that inspired people in mass to draw inappropriate pictures of Sonic on the internet?
That is a very good question.
Good question, Jack.
I think if I have to be specific in putting a guess out there, just because of the way internet culture works, this game's from 98. I feel like the height of that discussion and existence of Sonic Online was like the mid-2000s. 2006 was a game where Sonic like made out with a human woman, and that was also post Shadow the Hedgehog, which is very, very much that vibe. Both of those came after that. You could say that this game put us on that path, but I don't think that this was the game that caused it. In his defense,
I don't think that's good or bad. I just wanted to know.
Okay.
I think it probably is this, not the take your bit. It has to be this, right? Because I'm thinking about it like this is where Sonic got horny, right?
No, this one is very, very tame. I think.
Is it 2 that got horny? Maybe 2 has Rouge, right?
2 has Rouge. 2 got horny.
Where is the horny?
2 got horny. And listen, I was very upfront about the horniness of Hades last time. I don't think this game's horny. I think 2 is horny. And Sonic 06. From what I've heard.
There's
Such a loaded word. I don't think Hades is horny. Hades is just a little bit promiscuous. Like a little like we're like on the edge. You know what I'm saying? We're like, we're like heavily flirting. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. I do think Sonic is like has this alluring, definite sex appeal in this game. Maybe not Amy, but I think Sonic was marketed just like a baddie.
Maybe.
I don't know. But 2 is definitely the slight against God.
Yeah.
Was this voice acted? Like, was Roger Craig Smith Sonic at the time?
So this was not Roger Craig Smith. I think he came in around 2008, maybe, like later. But the voice for Sonic in this game and like the entire cast in my head are the voices I go back to when I think of like what their voice sounds like. That's probably just nostalgia, but I do think that, like I said, this was like a huge era for people getting into this character and world, because I believe the same voice actor was the same voice actor in this game, in the show at the time that spun off of this game, and every other like weird spin-off racer or hoverboard game that came out of this. And yeah, just the iconography of this specific game, along with the voice acting, I think is part of its legacy. Omar.
You alluded to this at the beginning of your presentation, but I have to ask. This game is like terrible, right?
I don't think that's the case. I think the reason I led with that is because Sonic has a reputation for more often having bad games than good games. So the initial shock, I think, of a Sonic game is why I had the buffer. And I thought it would be more funny to just like ham it up on that. But I think in terms of this game's downfalls, like I said, Big sucks, but he's like 1/6 of it, and everybody else I do think is like solid in their style of what you're doing with them. The main thing I think that this game struggles with genuinely is when you're going very, very fast. If you're not like on your game, you can come to a stop very fast. So like if you bump a wall when you don't mean to, or if you're cruising and then you don't jump at the right time, like you're done, you're stopped, and you got to like build up that momentum again, which can be frustrating, but I do think it rewards like practice and skill for getting good at it.
I have a question.
Yes.
I respect like you saying like, hey, like Metacritic is not end all be all, and I don't even think that Metacritic is end all be all, right? But like, I have kind of like a double jointed question. Like, can you tell me like, on average, right? Like, where does this game rank amongst the other Sonic games? If you want to break it up, like 3D Sonic games or all Sonic games, go ahead. But then also like, is there something about this game that you fundamentally believes to be on this echelon of 6 games we have so far? Like,
Sure.
Is there an undeniable like reason as to why? Because I'm just trying to get some answers.
So for the first question, I'm sorry if I didn't get into that as much. There were things I had to like skip past,
okay,
but
It's okay.
As far as the quality goes, I think in terms of 3D Sonics, out of the ones I've played, I haven't played all the recent ones. I think it is up there with, in my opinion, Unleashed as being the better ones. I know people love 2, Adventure 2 specifically, which is the direct sequel to this. I just don't have as much experience with it, but I think that this is one of the better games. And as far as 2D goes, like it's like 2 2D Sonics I like. So this is up there in the grand scheme as far as I'm concerned. And as far as the public is concerned, like I said, the Adventure series, it has this like huge following behind it in many different aspects, from the music to the levels, the storyline, and just the fundamental idea behind it. That's why everybody wants Adventure 3. So that's the first answer. Second answer, I genuinely think that it's a mix of this game's importance to Sega is a factor, I think, that is at play here, where other Sonic games since I probably have like refined this one, but I don't think you get much better than what this is in terms of the going fast gameplay. I think what's notable about it, though, is that you have this character whose whole thing is I'm going fast, and then in between levels you have these areas with secrets to explore. It's really this grand scale of an adventure. It lives up to the title because you're going to all these different regions, there's different hubs, there's puzzles to be solved between the racing levels and stuff like that. So there's a lot of variety. I don't have time to list everything you can do in this game, but there's a lot of different things you can do, and I think it just, for a first attempt at a 3D Sonic game, I think it does a lot of really impressive things. Mike?
So outside of the fact that this basically saved Sega, which is like, definitely something to mention. Is there anything about this game that you think sort of stayed? I don't know. Like, in what ways do you think this video game had influenced like maybe some games that came after it? I know nothing's really quite like Sonic. It's sort of like its own thing. But like, do you see its influence sort of like reach out past itself?
So I think the influence is more so on, like, honestly, like, internet culture more than other games, because like you said, like, Sonic is kind of its own weird game series, where it's not a racing game, but your objective is to go fast and beat times. So on that level, like, I know there's a big speedrunning scene around a lot of the Sonic games, but these two specifically, being Adventure Director's Cut and then the Classic Adventure. But yeah, I think a lot of it really is just feeling like a time capsule in a way that other games, like some of the Tony Hawks, exist as, right? Where like Tony Hawk, I guess, eventually led to the development of something like a skate, but nobody really does Tony Hawk like Tony Hawk, and you can really only get a Tony Hawk game from Tony Hawk, like there's been plenty of copycats and people have tried to do stuff like that, but there's something about it. And I think even within the Sonic series, I feel like they've been chasing this type of reception and game for the last 20 years in terms of what they actually put out there. They just refuse to do it right, I think. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you.
Cool.
How do you like the other parts of the game, like that aren't Sonic running fast?
Yeah, I like the other parts. Tails, I think, is a fun thing because you have, some of them are copycats where it's like, hey, I get to the end of the level, but you also have, like I said, the Sin and Punishment Star Fox style stuff where you hop in on rails, you're in the biplane, you just gotta like shoot down a bunch of stuff. That's cool.
Right.
Amy, like I said, survival horror is kind of fun. Like survival horror in a kid's game, you're being chased by like a Mr. X type. Knuckles with the scavenger hunts, I think, is a different pace. It can get frustrating, but I don't think it's the worst of the bunch. Big's fishing thing, when I replay this game, because I replay it every couple of years, like, it's whatever. It just takes a while. It's kind of frustrating, but and as far as like the final one, the Gamma thing, I do think is really cool, because it gets weirdly deep and it hits it hits what it's going for. It's surprising to me. So I do enjoy the other things you do besides going fast. Any other questions? Kevin, you look like you're thinking of something.
I think I'm good.
Okay.
Okay. Is this like a unanimous like top tier Sonic game?
I think
I'm very unfamiliar. Like, would like the average person be like, "Oh yeah, like that's like a sane choice to pick"? Like, or is this like,
There's no sane Sonic fan.
Is this a very specific Christian opinion, or is this like,
No, I think if you looked up a list of the top 10 Sonic games, this one is at least whatever. Like, you could look at like 4 different lists. This one, I guarantee, will be at least top 3. And I think Mania will be up there, and probably Adventure 2 is what my guesses would be. But yeah, I think this one is a fan favorite. It just there's a lot of Sonic games. A lot of them are mixed quality, so like some of them might hit for people and they will have their favorites, but I don't think any Sonic fan would say Adventure's bad. But I think there would be Sonic fans that think other games are better, maybe.
So if you like went and told a Sonic fan that this was your favorite, you wouldn't get like weird looks. People would be like,
that's what I want to know.
No, I think they'd be like, nice. And like, have you played any of the other ones? I think also they ask me after that and be like, no, I played a couple of them. Unleashed, I think, is good, but a lot of people hate that because it's trying to be a God of War game. So like, it's really weird. It's a weird franchise. But this one is usually agreed on as like it's at least an 8. It's a good one,
Okay.
First list, I did not find it.
Damn. What was the list from? What publication? Adam.
Polygon.
Okay.
It was from Polygon.
Okay.
I don't
I
think
didn't
you'll
find the
find
second one.
a group of Sonic
I'm
fans
not-
that will like
Agree.
agree on a thing. I really don't.
That's fair.
Those are like
That's
I knew
fair.
a guy that
That's fair.
said Sonic 2006 was the best one.
Yeah,
I still
now-
talk to him. Like I think it's a crazy franchise that has a lot of really different games.
Yeah, and
But
the last thing I'll say, I think if there was a Sonic game to be inducted, it would have to be an adventure or Sonic Mania. I don't think any of the other ones you can have a conversation about. Genuinely.
Three's got that Michael Jackson soundtrack.
Which got a delisted.
What?
Yeah, but in a cool way.
In a cool way.
Okay.
I hear good things
Sonic
about
and
Sonic
Michael
Mania,
Jackson
Yeah.
just makes so much sense
Yeah.
now that I'm thinking about it.
Shit.
Okay. The wheel has been spun, and Mike is next up.
Let's do this thing.
Okay.
Oh man, the finale. Oh man.
You are the finale. Good.
Mike, do you want to try it on your end? Because I was having tech issues on mine, and if not, I'll just pop it out the way that I did at the end of mine, and just have the full, not full screen version.
Let me see if it works.
Run out for like 10 seconds. Sorry.
I keep trying to figure out what that poster is on Omar's wall.
Me too. I thought it was the Force Unleashed.
What is it?
On Omar's wall?
It kind of looks like.
Mm-hmm. Top left.
It kind of looks
Are
like
you
the
saying?
trench run a little bit.
Is
You know what I'm saying?
the poster? I see a Revengeance box.
Revenge.
Yep, that's what it is. I've enhanced. That is.
Oh.
He's got an RTX thing going on.
Oh,
He
is that-
has-
My room.
Your.
Yeah.
I was looking at your poster to your back left, I believe. I think orientation wise, I think.
What?
What's
the
that on the
poster?
wall?
Uh,
Yeah,
the
what is that
Christian.
poster?
The
Not working?
Skyward Sword thing?
Yeah, I'm having some technical
No, the one
issues.
all the way
Alright,
to like the
I'll
edge.
pull
of
it
the,
up.
Oh,
Eh.
that's Raiden from Metal Gear
Alright,
Rising. That one?
The other side. The
Hold
other
on.
side.
Is it the
What's that,
Mandalorian
like-
thing?
What the hell is that? Hold on.
Hold on.
Oh wait, is that your closet? Oh, that's your closet. I'm dumb. I'm sorry.
Is it this?
No. I thought your
Those are
closet.
closed, sir.
I thought your closet was
poster?
at one point the trench run from the critically acclaimed A New Hope.
Nah, this is my
that's-
clothes,
that's-
bro.
That's clothes. Okay.
Is that a Baby Yoda advent calendar?
Yeah, it is. I got a. What day is it? Is it the 21st?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
it is. When was there, boys?
I missed yesterday too. What was that?
Oh shit.
I don't know if you can see it. The chocolate says the name with the property on it. It's kinda
Oh
interesting.
yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, okay.
I
see,
bet that's
see.
amazing chocolate.
Okay. I have Mike's thing ready to go. I will highlight the first two if it'll work, and then I'll back out Mike to the scrolly view because my end is being weird.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody can close your eyes for a brief moment. Pulling up screen share. Okay. We're good. Mike, I have it all set, and I will click to the next one when you're ready, and then once we get to the reveal, I'll back out to the one, like the scrolly thing.
Okay, sounds good.
Cool.
Alrighty. Thank you, Christian, for helping me with my technical issues. Thank you all for coming to my TED Talk. Atlantis. Here we have photos of Atlantis, including Atlantis underwater, Atlantis in the Bahamas, Atlantis, the movie, animated movie made by Disney.
Fuck.
That's a great one. Next slide, please. We all know and love it. right? We all know Atlantis. We all love it. If only there were an FPS that is set in a modern day Atlantis with an extremely captivating plot. If only. Well, if you were wondering, am I leading you somewhere? Is there a game that is set in a modern day Atlantis with a very captivating plot? I'd say yes. So, next slide, please. Why Bioshock should be in the Joy Clix Hall of Game. So, now that Christian is moving the screen, I believe, here. Okay. So I want to preface this by saying that I've played Bioshock, I've played Bioshock 2, and that's it. I know that's probably sacrilege to a lot of people. Why haven't you played Bioshock Infinite? That's probably the best Bioshock. You might be right. I have no idea why I haven't played it, but I haven't. But I played this one, and I'm going to tell you it's pretty good. So the setting for people who haven't played it takes place in 1960 in an underwater city called Rapture. The story has a lot of unexpected twists and turns. The atmosphere when you go down into Rapture is really cool and unique. It has a mysterious vibe. It's like horror adjacent, but also like sci-fi at the same time, which is like kind of cool. And the plot is just unique overall. I really think the setting is kind of like what sells this game, since you sort of like crash land into the ocean and then you just end up in Rapture, and it just seems very foreign and mystical, and it's something that definitely made an impression on me when I first played it. Next slide, please. The gameplay, for what it's worth, is relatively straightforward. It's what you would expect from a first-person shooter, but it does handle pretty well. I'd say the mechanics for its time. I think this came out in 2007. Pretty good. There is a little bit of role-playing aspect to it. You can have different endings depending on how you play the game. But for the most part, it's very linear. There's not too many places to explore. There are some exploration aspects of the world and the setting that you're in, but mostly linear storytelling. There's stealth aspects. You can lure enemies into traps, which I think is really cool. And it sort of adds to a little bit of the horror aspect of the game when you're trying to like basically crawl around and creep around Rapture. There are some puzzles and also tonics that you can use that sort of enhance your abilities, which gives a little bit of zhuzh to the game. Next slide, please. So the visuals at the time, the visuals are pretty game changing. Mostly because of the art direction, I would say. To me at least, this game is very unique. It sort of just like has its own thing. Haven't seen anything quite like it. I do think the art style still holds up. It's sort of futuristic, but also brutalist, modern. It's interesting. It's weird. It reminds me of like, I don't know. It's just, it takes the setting of 1960 and just does some really kind of cool things with it. Also, the imagery of the Big Daddy, who is like, the guy on the front of the cover and everything. I think he was in the last slide. It's just an iconic sort of look. Definitely has staying power. Next slide, please. So I think this is one of the most influential first-person shooters in a long time. I think it elevated a place an FPS could have for single player. I think the story to this is pretty incredible. It, like I said before, sort of brings you into a lot of different twists and turns. It kind of shows that like FPSs can be more than just like, big budget explosions and shoot 'em ups. They can actually tell a very compelling story with engaging visuals. I'd say in terms of its influence and its how this has sort of impacted games that have come after it. Aside from the fact that it inspired a whole series of games, so like Bioshock 2 and Bioshock Infinite, what have you. I'd say, interesting mechanic of the tonics, I would say it inspired the Pack-a-Punch in COD Zombies, which, definitely had its moment in the sun for sure. So if you can go to the next slide, please. Would you kindly vote for Bioshock into Joy Clix Hall of Game? That's my presentation. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hit me with the questions. Let's go.
I open up with a statement first.
Absolutely.
I think we have 2 Boston developed games in the Hall of Game nominees tonight with this and Beatles.
Shit.
Oh, you're
True.
right.
Yeah.
True.
Oh snap.
Damn.
Ah man, what was I gonna say? Because like Bioshock is one of those series that is in my gap of gaming that I hate that it's there, that I'm working on, right? Mass Effect is getting amended. I might start Mass Effect 2 later this week, guys. I don't know. We'll see. We'll
Do
see.
it.
But Bioshock is something that I actually have tried. I don't know what it was, man. I don't know if it was just like didn't hit me in the right way at the right time. Not sure if I was in the right mind space. I don't know, but like everything I hear about Bioshock sounds so intriguing to me, but it just lost me like maybe I'll say like 5-6 hours into the first game, something like that. Maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, something like that. I know it's pretty like right. I got sidetracked, right? Do you have a personal story of like when you first played Bioshock, of a specific moment that you can be as spoilery or unspoilery as you want, I guess? But like, is there a personal story that you have to this game that really made you feel that like this game was something else and not just a regular game that you were playing?
Well, yeah, actually, I do think I kind of mentioned it in the presentation, but the very beginning of this game, the opening of this game, I think is pretty iconic. Having played it when I was probably like 10, maybe 10 or 11 years old, like just the visual of like, being some random guy in a plane and have it crash land, and then you're like in this very mysterious and foreign place, just really stayed with me for a long time. And then especially since the game takes place basically like all underwater and you're alone, and there's this like foreboding sort of horror aspect to it, as well as you sort of unravel this mystery as to like what's going on down in Rapture. And I have to say, I'm not going to spoil it because someday maybe you want to play it, but the ending does.
I definitely do.
Yeah. The ending, without getting into any spoilers, is pretty incredible. Like there's a twist that I definitely didn't see coming, but maybe I was like 11 years old, so that may have something to do with it. But in terms of that, just like all of those factors combined, definitely is definitely like why this has stayed with me for such a long time. I'd say like it's a pretty simple game, like for the most part. There's not really like much to it, but for what it has and what it is, like it tells a very concise and clean story, and I appreciate that.
I have never played a Bioshock game in my life. For just a couple of reasons, I just haven't had like a huge interest to pick it up. But do you think if I know the twist of the first game, like just by existing online and like having run into people talking about that and how much of a huge deal it is, like, do you think the story for somebody who knows the twist going in, like, is it still able to hit the tone that you're really praising for it?
Well, I do think that like there is something to be said about learning the twist, and like it kind of changes like the frame through which you sort of view the game, which is interesting in and of itself, but could be a detriment if you know it and haven't played it, and then you go in and play it and you know all about it. Because I do think that there is part of the game that like sort of relies on like the mystery of it all and like that kind of thing. So I don't know if it would hit as hard for somebody who like does know the ending, but I feel like you could say that about a lot of things.
Sure.
It is unfortunate though that like Bioshock's ending has sort of been like talked about like nonstop. So
have you like replayed it after the initial run through, like knowing where the story goes?
Yeah, I did once. And to be fair, I haven't played this game in quite some time. But knowing the ending definitely changes it a little bit. It's kind of
Sure.
like you ever seen the movie Shutter Island with
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like you watch it the first time, you learn the twist at the end, and if you play it over again, there are some things that happen where you can like really pick up on it. So it does have that sort of value in terms of the playthrough, but like yeah, if you know it, it's not going to hit as hard, which is unfortunate, but
I'll say that, or if I may, sorry, this is really quick. Say that I also knew that twist going into it because it was everywhere on the internet.
Yeah.
Like everyone memeing with that one sentence, and I was prepared for it, and I still thought it was pretty amazing.
Okay. Cool.
I don't know it actually. I don't think I know it.
How did you manage to dodge all these?
You see, this is also remind me of how I didn't know the big
Final Fantasy
FF7 spoiler.
I don't know how that works.
Yeah. I don't know, guys. I just kind of just shimmy my way through this,
I mean, that's a good thing. Yeah.
Huh?
You gotta play it soon.
Oh no, I don't know why I dropped it. Like I think I played it. It was like recent, like it was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, the remaster.
It was definitely
came
like in
out
college.
in like 2017.
It was a remaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played the remaster. Yeah. I actually
I think it's on
rebought
PS
it because
Plus, right?
I think it should be.
Yeah, it was on PS Plus once.
I have it on there. I didn't buy it. I know that.
okay, I think I might have missed that one somehow because I had it physically, and then I got a digital PS5, and I was like, shit, I need to buy it. So I do have it. I do have all 3 games. Yep.
I think it's good that you. Yeah, I think it's good that you don't know the ending. Actually, you're coming at it through a lens that, like, Christian and Omar said that they could. So that's good.
Is it more shocking that I don't know this ending, or more shocking that I did not know FF7?
FF7.
FF7, yeah, for sure.
Well, not ending, but yeah,
the twist, yeah,
the big one. Yeah. Okay. I see.
The FF7 twist is always like I thought as big as the Darth Vader one to me.
Yeah.
I thought that was
That's
everywhere.
what Christian told me.
Yeah.
Literally, that's what he said. Word for word, bar for bar.
Hey, which game? Adam.
Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe Jack had a question.
Yeah.
I don't mean to
I have a
control
question.
the conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, Jack.
I'm trying to remember. I want to call it the Bioshock Infinite term, but did you like the sort of like combination of like the powers and then like switching between weapons, like whether it was like a wrench or like a pistol or whatever? Like, do you think that was fun enough and like dynamic enough?
I think so. I think it sort of like played into the whole vibe of it, to be honest. Like, if you crash landed into Atlantis, you'd have to like find all the stuff to use to like protect yourself. I do think, like, given the fact that this game was made in like 2007, like there are going to be limitations in terms of like how it actually is and like the mechanics and whatnot, just because of the time that it was released. But for what it is, I do think it is quite the dynamic game, to use your word. I'd mentioned the tonics and all that kind of stuff. I think that does add like a good flair to sort of, the gameplay and everything like that. In one aspect, I do think that the combat, the enemies that you fight in this game can become like a little bit repetitive, which is like, I guess a problem to some, but not really to me. I think the story, like I said, kind of surpasses all of that and just like makes it like an experience. So I don't know if that answers your question, but yeah, I think for what it is and for when it came out, I think it has a lot of different ways it can be played, and I think that's a benefit.
Also, real quick, what did you play this on?
Oh, I played this on the Xbox 360.
Nice.
Yes,
I
should
remember the
honestly.
demo for this was cool.
I don't think I've ever played the demo. I don't know. I don't really remember how I started playing this game. I might have just been something that like I got for Christmas or something, and the rest is history. But yeah, I mean, like, considering the fact that it has been remastered, I haven't played it in quite some time, so I definitely probably should. But it's a great game.
There's a new one on the way.
Yeah.
Is there? I see. That's the thing.
Oh yeah, there's some details out there. Absolutely. It sounds interesting. It sounds cool.
I mean, I feel like I have to play Bioshock Infinite at some point. I just
Yeah.
don't know why I have.
I need to play all of them. Yeah, I'm really excited to play all of them. Definitely.
I have a
After
question.
Mass Effect, that'll be my next big catch up. Omar, please.
Sorry.
No, please.
Do you feel like some of the politics and writing of Bioshock still hold up to this day? Because I feel like there's some objectivist stuff in there that I think back on or play it now that I'm like, I wonder what he meant by this. Showing up and there's that big Andrew Ryan banner that's like, no gods, no kings, only man. And seeing some of Ken Levine's tweets also, I wonder what this game was. I don't know.
So yeah, I'm not familiar with Ken Levine. That name doesn't ring a bell to me.
He's
Maybe it should.
He's the writer, right?
He was the director,
did he write?
main writer of
Director
this
of
and
Bioshock.
Infinite.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay. Well, I don't really have that context. I
No,
think that from what the game shows, I think that maybe some of the stuff that Andrew Ryan is espousing isn't necessarily stuff that should be. I don't know. It's not portrayed in the greatest light in the game either. So there's that aspect to it. Getting into the nuance of it a little bit, but yeah, I'm not familiar with his tweets or anything like that. But maybe I should look into it.
It's not it's not a problem. It's just there's some stuff that I was just like, interesting. I think you remember in the beginning, where you get off that plane, right? And his name is Jack, right? Is that the protagonist?
Yeah.
He's like, my parents always told me I was special, and you know what? They were right. And the plane crashes or whatever. I always thought maybe I don't really know, to be honest. I think it's cool. I think it's a cool game. I think most of my thoughts on this kind of came from Infinite at some point. That I'd love if you would play that at some point, because that game's crazy.
Yeah, no, I definitely should play it.
Yeah, I just have one more quick one about the main story. Do you think that this was sort of the first big popular game that if it was surface level or not, because I haven't experienced it, brought on this whole real popular who's the bad guy type of story thing, morally great? Was Bioshock kind of the first big game, you think, to have that? Because a lot of it done that since then. I just don't know if this was a big deal for it at the time.
I mean, I think that maybe the idea of I don't know, the deception in the storytelling and figuring out the full picture toward the end. I don't think that's necessarily new to Bioshock. I think what Bioshock did well was kind of in its presentation, and I think that perhaps that's probably why it stuck with a lot of people. It's why it stuck with me, to be honest. It's a video game, but it also kind of feels cinematic in a way, and you're playing through a movie. And I think that's kind of the appeal. That's kind of the lore of it. And the fact that they do take the time to sort of set up this universe and whatnot, that the payoff at the end actually feels good. So I don't know if they were necessarily the first one to do that, but I think that they did it really well and did it in a new way that kind of just got people to perk their ears up.
Cool.
Any other questions? All right.
Well done, Mike.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
All right, Kevin. Whenever you're good, I will focus on you.
I got two things to say. One, completely unrelated. Did not realize that Willem Dafoe also voiced the hot fish from Finding Nemo.
Mm-hmm. Just finding this out. Damn.
I saw a tweet. That really blew me back. I'd also like to play a song. I'd like everyone to kind of perhaps just gander at Omar. I'm not trying to throw Omar on the spot, but I just want just just to see what type of reaction we could get, just to start us off. You know what I'm saying? Wait for it.
Is it playing right? To put it closer to the mic.
Wait for it. It's coming.
You're getting noise gated, I think. Do you guys hear it?
I'm getting noise gated. I'm getting
don't hear
noise
a thing.
gated. It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. I'm getting noise gated. The game I'd like to bring is Outer Wilds. Released in 2019, along with the expansion DLC Echoes of the Eye in 2021. This game began as a year-long thesis project under Alex Beecham and his team in 2012. And then after graduation, him and his classmates were hired by Mobius Digital after they saw the demo of Outer Wilds, and it became the first video game to be featured on a game-centric crowdfunding site called Fig, with the alpha for Outer Wilds dropping in 2015, right? In March 2018, Annapurna picked up this game and its investment and its rights to Outer Wilds from Fig. And then the game was released shortly after on May 28, 2019, with the Xbox One version coming out the day after, and the PS4 version did not release until October 15th, 2019. A Switch version is still in development, but that's wild to me because I don't know how the Switch can run this game. You know what I'm saying? If you go look at this game, right, it's not the most impressive looking game visually. It definitely has an art style. It has an art style that, like, off of first glance, something that I was not enjoying, but after a while, like, you really start to fall for this game, right? This game is not like a traditional game, right? There's no cutscenes, right? There's no, like, stages, right? There's not even, like, a real waypoint system, right? Which is something that, like, I definitely kind of steer towards not enjoying a lot in games. Like, I really don't like the feeling of being lost in a game. Like, I really don't like that. But in this game, like, that's really the point, right? The point is that you are having to have a level of curiosity that fuels and funnels your progression of this game, right? And there's no, like, upgrades either. There's no equipment that you're getting, and like, all I really needed was given to me at the start of the game. But also, when I asked Omar, like, hey man, like, what's the deal with this game, and Omar just told me what I would tell anyone, would just be, you gotta just go with the flow, and you will figure it out. Like, it's not impossible, right? But you have to have a level of curiosity into this game, and you gotta just do it, because what you are getting from this game is information on the universe that you're existing in. I haven't explained the game yet. So you play as a Harthian, right? And you're setting out on your first flight into outer space, right? You're in the Outer Wilds space program, and you join, not like, you are one of, like, a few people that have gone to space, like 5, 6, 7 people, right? And it's just this game that takes place in this universe that is always there. And what I mean by that is that the universe is changing and evolving, and more specifically moving all at the same time, right? There is no, like, oh, that planet is deloaded because you're not there. They just turned into, like, lower poly sprites, right? Like, this is a game that is true. See, look how blown away he is. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's a game that it's a game that is always, like, persisting, always on, and is always evolving and changing. And it's something that, and it's the first game that I have never had this realization where you're not affecting the world and don't have the ability to really affect the world, but it's all about you figuring out how to utilize the universe itself, right? And everything that has happened to you is the universe doing it back to you. For example, right, when you land on Ash Twin, and you're not expecting the sand funnel, right? That could easily kill you, right? Like different stuff like that. And it's all about you learning of a previous species before your time that was in search of something that I don't want to spoil, but it's all about picking up the pieces of where they left off and getting some answers for yourself, right? So I don't know. This might be unorthodox, but like I kind of wanted to just end off like walking through my first hour with the game, right?
1 minute.
I wake up, campfire, got the guitar playing, you know what I'm saying? I get the launch codes. I set off to space, all right? I land in a planet that I'm sure Omar will be familiar with. I land on Giant's Deep, right? I'm seeing a lot of tornadoes, a massive ocean planet, you know what I'm saying? And I land on this structure that was near where I entered the atmosphere from. So I land, I'm reading the scripts, and I'm gathering that I'm on this like building place that they build this orbital probe cannon. And I'm figuring out like what they use this for. There's probe tracking modules, there's all these different terms that they're throwing at me. I'm not sure what's going on. And then I hear a tune. I hear a specific track of a song playing. It feels melancholic. It feels like kind of depressing, but like also kind of uplifting in a weird way, And it's something that I'm not sure what was going on. Bright flash of white, and I wake up right back at the campfire. This game is on a 22-minute loop. I think that's all the time I have. So
yeah, you're good.
That's about it. I was gonna ask Omar about his first flight because I really want to know that now, with having the context of Outer Wilds. But it's a great game. I really enjoyed it. That's all.
Yeah.
I have a question.
I'm clapping for myself. I am. Yes.
Why were people freaking out about this game when it came out? Because I heard so much about it when this released, and it had me really interested. But I honestly don't know what this game even looks like. But people were freaking out about it, and it has me really interested.
So you're in first person, right? If that helps you kind of contextualize it, and you're like playing in this universe where like the like planet size in comparison to you isn't that drastic, right? Like you're like very much like walking on like literally a sphere, right? Like everything is like on like a round sphere, like plane of existence of a planet. It's not like you're on like a flat level per se. You know what I'm saying? That makes a lot more sense once you play it. You know what I'm saying? Or like even if you see it on like gameplay, but the thing about it is like there really like isn't any direction in this game. That was the intention, right? They're very public on like saying like they want the player to be curious, and like curiosity is what fuels this game and like fuels you through it, getting you to the end of the game. And you're just and like it's hard to talk about because like I really don't want to spoil it for you, but you're quite literally picking up the pieces and gathering information of a past species that existed. I think it's 220 million years before your species existed on your home planet, and you're just figuring out what they were doing here in this universe, what they were searching for, and you end up picking up pieces and perhaps following in their footsteps, And it's like I told Christian that like I have a similar like feeling with this game to like Death Stranding, where like I really feel like I have not played anything like Death Stranding. I've evolved on that, where I think it's more so than Death Stranding, in the vein of like I don't think there's ever been a game that's existed like this before. Yes, there are games with time loops for sure. That's obviously not a new thing, but the actual game itself and like how you're given everything you need to beat this game as soon as you wake up. If you know what you're doing, you can beat this game in 17 minutes, maybe, like 16 minutes, depending on Dark Bramble, because that's a bitch, but you know what I'm saying? But yeah, this game is just really special, bro. Like it's really not like anything I've ever played before or heard of, If there is a game that's like this, let me know, but I certainly haven't heard of it. Christian, yes.
So I know the circumstances you played this game under was like for work. So I know this typically isn't typically like a game that would grab you like immediately. So the fact that it's like very open and is up to the player to like find a path, there's really no guidance. Do you think that it's rewarding enough for somebody who like wasn't playing it because they had to? Not saying that's the reason you went through with it, but like
I hear
like
you.
if you weren't playing this for work, you Kevin Diaz playing this game and the way it talks to the player, like do you think you would have seen it through, or like is it does a good job at like making you feel like you're progressing even when you're struggling?
There's one saving grace to this thing that I have not brought up yet, right? And this was something that they said like in a interview that this was added like 9 months before the game released. Like it was a very late in development thing that they added. It was the ship log. This ship log has a like a Always Sunny in Philadelphia like board of threads, right? That is color coded, and it's like, okay, like because you discovered this, right? That could either tell you like what you discovered, so it's a nice log of like, okay, like what have I done so far, what have I seen so far, and what does it all mean, and how does it connect to what I found before. It's that, and also it'll let you know like, hey, there's more to explore in this given area, or there's more to see here that you haven't discovered yet. There's that layout, which is the rumor mode, and then there's also I forgot what the other mode is called, but there's a really like traditional like planet by planet list as well of like, okay, here on Dark Bramble you haven't discovered this, but you've seen this and that, so there is that aspect where I don't know if I would have beat it, to be fair, without that, and I think that ship log I think is really, really key for those that are like me, that like don't like a lot of openness and like don't like not necessarily knowing like what my next step should be. You know what I'm saying? So I think the ship log does a lot for that, for sure. In terms of like kind of having a little bit of direction, but not waypoints. Indeed.
Cool.
Omar.
Omar.
Well, mine's probably gonna be a little longer. So how about you go with Mike?
Okay,
first?
we can do Omar last, Mike second. Go ahead. Yeah, Mike. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Basic question. Does the fact that you said it like resets after every 20 something minutes? Does that ever get frustrating? Okay. Does that ever get like frustrating? Because that sounds like that would really piss me off, to be honest.
That's a good question, because like it's not right, but death does have meaning in this game. Like I feel like there's like a lot of other ways that you can die in that watch, because like very much so like you are not affecting this universe, it's affecting you, right? Like there are like 1,000 ways to die, no pun intended, in this game, but the actual 22-minute where your loop restarts, which that's kind of a spoiler. I don't even want to necessarily say like why you're restarting, right? There's just a big, bright flash, and like you just restart your loop.
But it has larger meaning, is what you're saying.
Oh yeah, very, very, very large meanings. Yeah, and like if it's frustrating, it's really not, because like I think what that mechanic really does allow you to do, if you know how to use it well, is that you can go back to that location in a specific way that you maybe didn't think about before, and you get a lot of context to like, okay, maybe I entered, the under caves of Ashwin a little bit later than I should have, right? And maybe there's more to explore at an earlier point in this loop, or vice versa. Maybe there's something here that I can come back to when we're getting close to that 22-minute reset, where I can find something that I wasn't expecting, So it's little things like that where like, because the act of like discovering certain things in this game, like there are like puzzles, but like they're not like incredibly difficult puzzles, but there are some things that like there are just certain things that reveal itself as the universe is moving and changing and evolving over the course of 22 minutes that you might not catch at a given time in a given loop,
Okay.
So I think it works out. Definitely.
Okay.
Omar hit me.
Well, I was gonna say I really empathize with the way you're trying to talk about this game without spoilers, because it is a game about like exploration for yourself, right? And seeing stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a really hard game to talk about and like recommend. You asked me about like my first day with the game originally.
Yeah, I really want to hear it, bro. I really want to hear it.
Well, like truthfully, I think I was running into the same frustrations like Mike had, or even Jack mentioning that he had no idea what people were talking about with this game. Like, because no one can tell you what it is, and then you get into it, and then you just keep dying a bit. And I remember being frustrated with it, but once I figured out how to fly my ship, I went to Dark Bramble, which blew my mind.
Oh god, dude!
Because this game is fucking scary, right?
Yes, sir.
It's a scary ass game, and I think we talk about horror on this podcast sometimes. I think Christian, if you like horror, this game's crazy.
Christian would. There's some. I like. Have you played Echoes of the Eye yet?
No, I have not.
Okay, I told Christian, all my life, I swear, Echoes of the Eye might be one of the scariest games I ever played in my entire life. Like one of the most tense, scared things, and like you get that with Dark Bramble for sure in a level of just like tense moment. And like, dude, I hate that. Oh man, like they make you do something in Dark Bramble, right? And then it's like, okay, I've done it. There's no way I have to do it again, right? Like that was it. And then you gotta do it again. It's like, oh my god. Like, yeah, Dark Bramble's incredible. Yeah. So you went there for your first time?
Yes, I believe so. Or
that's a choice.
Yeah,
that's definitely a choice.
It's an awesome name, right? All the planets have great names, but I thought that one was it was that, and like the one you went to, Giant's Deep.
Giant's Deep.
Were the first ones I remember like going to, like, holy shit, what is going on with this game? Those are the ones that got me hooked. That game made me feel like an astronaut. I loved it. And
yeah.
I think if I could just talk about the time loop thing really quickly, like I actually don't think it's that frustrating once you get over it for the first few times, because at some point you get really good at like just getting back to where you were. So like yeah, it's worth checking out. And Kevin, I love you. Thank you for bringing it. I don't know what to say really. It's such a good game.
I had to do it. Like, and like I've had such a go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, I remember like you texted me like about your like IGN thing, and you said this was the game you were going to do it for, and I like freaked out. I didn't want to tell you that it sounded like a bad idea, because like,
I see now.
Right?
I see now how it was a bad. Yeah.
Like I was like, oh my god, you got yourself into quite a pickle. But
so to like give context, like I had no idea. Like I had heard about this game, but I didn't know like the actual like moment to moment like what it means to play this game. You know what I'm saying? I thought, oh, okay, I'm doing a video walkthrough guide. Okay, that just play the game. Everything should be fine. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. But this game requires a lot of, I'd say, patience early on, and then once you kind of like understand what's going on, things get a lot more smoother. But there was a lot of like trial and error in certain ways and stuff like that with this universe always moving. And what I mean by that is that like whatever planet you're on, like the other planets are also moving. Like it's literally everything is moving. You know what I'm saying? So crashing into the interloper is something that happened multiple times, trying to land there, you know, getting crushed by one of the lava rocks from Hollow's Lantern to Brittle's Hollow. Like that also messed me up a lot. The
Flying a little
tornadoes
too
on
close to
Giant
the
Steve,
sun.
like flying too close to the sun, absolutely. Like, but it's just such a, like, I feel like people that have played Outer Wilds, like, I feel like we've like been through something, and I don't think I can say that a lot about like other games. You know, like, yeah, cool, like we've all played like Metal Gear, whatever, like, and that's great, right? Like that feels like something that like we can look back on, but like I feel like I lived this universe for a month of my life. You know, it's something that I've never experienced before in my life. Yeah.
It's a very like it feels like you direct it almost like it's a self-motivated
Yeah.
experience. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Do you have a favorite planet?
Me, I might give it to Dark Bramble, to be honest. I just,
That's a good one.
especially like when you figure out like how to do it, it was so mind blowing to me.
so,
like,
so
yeah.
goddamn. Yeah. I like Brittle Hollow
yeah,
just like as a concept because like what the fuck? Like, it's
Those-
so cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
God
Brittle
damn.
Hollow's sick.
yeah.
Brittle Hollow's really good. Brittle Hollow's great.
Did you watch that
Um,
No Clip documentary on it?
I did.
Okay, cool.
did.
Because I remember that's where
I
I
did.
heard about like the
Yeah.
planets are always rotating, right? Like I don't know how they're
Yeah.
gonna make it work on Switch. Like because the way it looks, you think it would run fine on PS5, right? like
Mhm.
like a good looking game, but not technically it looks crazy. But yeah, all the programming shit underneath it, I don't know how they made that work.
There's
It
so
shouldn't- it
much
shouldn't
under the
work.
hood. Like
Yeah,
there's so much under the hood. Like I'm shocked that like this game is not as glitchy as like you would think it would be with all this under the hood. Like they are calculating like
Velocities.
resistance of speed, velocities all the time, and like you're dealing with quantum elements as well in there that are really cool. Like, yeah. This game is something.
All right.
This game is something. I gotta tell you, this game is something.
Very nice. Well done, Kevin. So, it is time to vote. Reminder: you cannot vote for your own game that you brought. We are awarding 3 different sets of points. One game gets 1 point, one game gets 3 points, one game gets 5 points. We're going in the order that we presented in, so that will be Omar, Jack, me, Mike, Kevin. We will be, everybody else is going to deafen. The speaker will be highlighted. For the panelists, you'll be DMing or texting me whatever your votes are. So like if somebody brought Last of Us, they would have been like, okay, here's 5 for Last
3
of Us.
points.
You're not ranking it by like
5
whatever
points.
order. It's like the point value in the game. So Omar, you're gonna get highlighted.
You said 135, right?
135, yeah. So we're all gonna deafen. Omar, you're first. You can say your piece to everybody, and I've seen you have DM'd me, so just go off to the chat for a few minutes, and then give a signal, and I'll pass it on to Jack.
all right. I think I'm talking. Bioshock's great. I always thought that game was cool. I'm gonna give that the 1 point because I don't know. I think the atmosphere was always kind of just incredible, and it was a cool experience seeing like the immersive sim get brought to consoles like that. And I like Rapture. I just think Rapture is cool. 3 points goes to Sonic Adventure. I'm a bit of a Sonic nut at this point. I wasn't always this way, but I have a very close relationship with the Sonic games and now my Twitch channel. I played a lot of Sonic on that thing and I made a lot of friends, and I love people who like Sonic. And Sonic Adventure has a overall vibe to it with the Dreamcast and the way it looks, the way it sounds. Even if it's, I don't actually think it's a good game most of the time, but when it's good, it's really cool. And even when it's bad, it's just enjoyable to be in that environment. You know, the Crush 40 soundtrack, the visuals, the style. It's an inspiring game in a lot of ways. even if it sucks shit. But it's like it doesn't. But like he brought DX, which I think I have more of a fondness for the original, and that includes the character models. But they're the same game, so yeah, 3 points for DX. 5 points goes to Outer Wilds. I promise I did not collaborate with Kevin on this. I just got really excited when he brought it. That game is a masterpiece. Hell, I actually think Outer Wilds is probably the best game ever made. Now I know I say that about Metal Gear Solid 2 a lot, but I think Outer Wilds is like right up there as well. Like those games are my top two. I'm gonna be real. That game blew my mind. I played that about 2 years ago at this point, and it was like nothing else I've ever played. It's like the feeling I get of exploration from Breath of the Wild, but taken to a scale of the entire universe. But it's very accessible and palatable taking it in. And yeah, I felt like an adventurer, and hell, it made me wanna do something cool, like go on an adventure and meet people, see the world. I don't know. That game's special. It's really something inspiring. Outer Wilds. I think I cry thinking about it. I'm not even joking. I literally tear up thinking about that game. Please play it. Please play it, everyone. And yeah, I'm good.
Okay, it is, I believe, turn. I'm gonna start at the 1 point. I'm gonna give my 1 point to Sonic. I'm not very familiar with the Sonic series. I know people have a lot of love in their hearts for that. And I think Christian gave a convincing case to have this is like one of the. He was arguing that despite it looking maybe mediocre on the outside, there's a lot to love about this game. So he convinced me with that. I'm going to give that to. I'm going to give that my one spot, and then for the 3-pointer, I'm going to give it to Bioshock. I think that game absolutely rules. I also played that on the 360 years after it came out. Like I played it probably in, I want to say 2013. I think I was playing it before Infinite, and it still holds up. It did back then at least. I really liked the first person aspect of it. I think a lot of shooters at that time were not really doing the whole story thing in terms of like being a interesting story that is not in a military setting, and this was one of those that decided to do its very own unique thing, and I thought that was a great choice for that. And it's still really great, I feel. So much so that I want to go back to play it at some point. That's one of those you can just kind of burn through and have a really great weekend. So Bioshock's getting the 3-point. And I'm going to give the 5-point to Outer Wilds, a game I've never played, but have been very interested in playing. And I think Kevin made a really good case, and it made me interested to play the game in a way that I don't think I've been interested to play a Hall of game that I haven't played before. But Outer Wilds seems really interesting to me, and honestly, I kind of liked having no visuals to what Kevin was speaking to, and I was just imagining what that game looks like. And has me very intrigued, and I think he did a really good job expressing that. So I'm going to lock in my points. I'm going to say all set, and Christian will begin speaking momentarily once he gets the message. But I've delivered it, and I believe he's next. I don't think it's Mike. I think it's Christian, and I'm going to let him know. And he is looking at his phone.
There we are. Hey everybody. I said I could have defended Sonic better if the tech issues weren't there. I feel like I did Sonic dirty, but very, very good presentations tonight. I know already what I'm doing before it came to me. I normally have to like look at them all, but I'm sorry. Boring. 5 points to Skyrim. I think Jack nailed why that game is excellent. I think he gave a very good presentation. It's a very important game to me personally. Skyrim is a game changer. It's worthy of the hype, I think. I revisited it very recently on the anniversary. Game is still real good, and a point that he didn't really bring up that I tried to get out of him with the Q&A portion is that I think Skyrim is surprising at building its world and just feeling like a really well realized place, even beyond the fact that like Bethesda just wrote a million books for that game. Like you go in there, it's just so engrossing with the way it presents the world very unceremoniously in a lot of ways. I could go off, especially having revisited it and put like 15 hours in over Thanksgiving. Skyrim is absolutely excellent, 5 points. I hope it gets in, which is weird to say about Skyrim. 3 points to Outer Wilds. It's a game I haven't played. It's a game I'm sure I'd probably enjoy. Much like Skyrim, the internet loves this game, but from what I know about the game and how weird it is in its format, for it to have an impact on Kevin that hard, and just knowing Kevin and having like podcasted with him and talked about games with him for like 3 or 4 years at this point, like I know what he likes and gravitates to. It's very much not this. So the fact that a game like this was able to hit him that hard and just really seem like he has no bad things to say about it, I think is impressive. He also just made really good points about it in his presentation, I think. And 1 point, as much as I love, respect, and admire Omar bringing the Beatles rock band, which I think is such a, like, obviously it's the Beatles. The Beatles are incredible, right? Great music, much like Skyrim, duh. But I do think Mike sold Bioshock in a way where I look at Bioshock, I have zero interest. I look at Bioshock, I'm like, this feels like it is very, very proud of what they're saying, but they're saying it in the bluntest way possible from the outside. But Mike genuinely presented it as a game in a way that seemed interesting. So for the 1 point, I'm throwing it to Mike because he changed my perception, at least for tonight, on Bioshock. So yeah, 5 to Skyrim, 3 to Outer Wilds, 1 to Bioshock. That's me. I'll tally these up in the meantime, but I think Mike is next.
All right. So we got all right. We got a bunch of games here. Great presentations by all. As always, really people bringing out all the full stops. Just to recap, we got the Beatles rock band from Omar. We have Outer Wilds, which I'd never heard of, honestly, before Kevin brought it. Sonic Adventures, Director's Cut Edition, whatever, brought by Christian. And we have the enigmatic Skyrim, brought by Jack. Classics. All classics. And I brought Bioshock, but I'm not going to be voting for that. Honestly, I kind of had an idea as to what I was going to do before I went in here. It's just going through the list. I think the Beatles rock band, while a great choice, I think that if anything were to make the Hall of Game list, it should be one of the original rock bands. While I do appreciate the argument that Omar has for it being sort of themed in its own thing, I do also think that that sort of limits it in a way. And if you were to put a rhythm game in the Hall of Game, it should be maybe like a Rock Band 2, one that's just more general, has a bit more variety. But great choice, though, by him. Outer Wilds, I think that's interesting. I've never heard of it before. Kevin made a great point. Great points all around. Skyrim is a classic. It's tough to say that shouldn't be in this Hall of Game, but I think my answers might surprise you. And Sonic, just a classic video game character, so there's that. I think at the end of the day, I'd give my 1 point to Skyrim. I'd give my 3 points to Outer Wilds. I'd give my 5 points to Sonic. So that is what I'm going to be doing.
Greetings. All right. So I don't have a lot to say on these games I picked, but we can just walk through my line of thinking, right? I feel like out of the batch of games that we got a nice rundown on, Skyrim had to be in this, right? Like, I feel like from the jump, like I'm pretty shocked. I'm pretty shocked it took this long to have Skyrim enter this tier. But I hope that it gets here. So I did give it the 5 points. Not that I played it, not that I'm interested in it, but I just know that it's an important game. You know, it's an important game to games itself. It's one of the games that I feel like we'll look back on 50 or 100 years from now on this industry as it evolves, as it grows. So Skyrim's got to be on there. You know what I'm saying? And the 3 points was an interesting one. You know what I'm saying? Because it was either going to be Bioshock or Rockstar or Rock Band Beatles. I decided to give it to Rock Band Beatles. You know what I'm saying? Because like I feel like that's a unique pick. We don't have a game yet that is focused on music, right? Like that is a rhythm game, right? And I feel like Omar did a good pitch overall on like how it really didn't have any like new negatives that Rock Band didn't have before it. It's just a very focused rock band that was focused on Beatles, and I feel like if you're a Beatles fan, I bet this was your game, you know? So shout out to Rock Band Beatles on that 3 points. And then the Bioshock pick did get the 1 point. Very similar thoughts I have with Skyrim, where like this is one of those game series that is critically acclaimed. A lot of people love. I feel like it deserves to be on the Hall of Game as well. But yeah, that's pretty much been my ruling.
We're back.
Jack, you think I should see Spider-Man tonight, bro? What do you
I
think
think you
man?
should do it.
What do you think?
I was considering. I wish I got tickets, but I was considering doing a solo thing on Thursday. I didn't end up doing it, but you should do it. Going to the movies by yourself is the best.
Yeah, I went out to eat for the first time by myself like a few weeks back. It was actually kind of embarrassing. The waiter was like, "Oh, like is your like +1 like a little bit late?" And I was like, "It's just me, ma'am. It's just me, ma'am.
Just me and you."
Yeah, just just us two. But no one's gonna ask me that in movie theater, you know.
No.
Actually, you know what? I have gone to theaters long. I saw Spider-Verse early by myself. Sony sent out like a PlayStation promotion thing, something like that, and I got to see Spider-Verse early by myself. That was great, actually. That was cool.
Yeah,
that was a cool thing.
That's cool. I'm in full support of seeing movies. Going to the movie theater by yourself. It's really.
Oh,
cool.
I do that.
Yeah,
I do that all
agree.
the time. Good stuff.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Damn.
Yeah.
Did that at UMass a few times.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
I saw
It
Your
is the
Name
way
by
to go.
yourself, and it was a religious experience.
Your Name?
You saw what
Yeah.
by yourself?
Called Your Name.
Oh, it's a movie called Your Name.
Yeah, highly recommend it.
I didn't get to see that in theaters. I'd like to. Did you see
Y'all
Weathering
will
with
be-
You?
I don't think I have, but
Okay.
it's on the list because I know that that's the same director.
Y'all ready
That's-
for that midnight premiere of Uncharted?
Oh
You know
yeah,
what
we
I'm
were talking
saying?
about that.
Y'all,
I do think we have to go.
y'all.
Yeah,
Yo,
we should go.
I'm going opening night out of sheer principle, and I imagine I'll stream literally when I get home. I don't care how late it is. I'll just spill my thoughts there.
hmm
I don't think it looks that bad. It looks bad.
I mean,
I think it was an average trailer for a
No.
movie that could be surprising.
I
Also-
feel like the Tom Holland Drake thing doesn't look so bad to me.
It doesn't.
Like who could
I don't
be
think
better?
it looks so bad.
Like-
People have been saying that. I don't think it looks so bad.
Okay.
Like him specifically as Nate, but
I do think it's weird. I think Tom Holland's a weird guy, but I think he's fine.
we're just gonna see.
Yeah.
Shout out to my boy Tom Holland. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
We're just gonna see how that
Tom
goes.
England would be better. He's a fucking liar.
I have the votes tallied. I've double checked. We are prepared to induct the final 2 of 2021 into the Joy-Clicks Hall game. Are we ready?
Let's go.
Indeed.
Yes.
Okay. So good news. No ties, and nobody got nothing.
Yeah.
So everything
Sweet.
got at least something. Last place with 3 votes, we have the Beatles Rock Band.
Fuck you guys.
Mhm.
It's okay.
Omar, I freaking had your back, bro.
It's all right. I don't think I was
had
gonna
your
win.
back, bro.
That is cool.
I had.
Thank you for letting me present my case. And love your family while they're still around.
Mm.
Uh,
Damn, that was dark as shit.
Coming in fourth place with 6 votes, Bioshock.
Okay. Thank you for the support, guys.
I'm pretty shocked by that. Okay,
Yeah,
it's
me
very
too.
All on brand.
that is shocking.
Yeah.
Are you
what are
guys?
you doing?
Am I going crazy? Are you guys making jokes, or are you all saying shocked?
No, I'm
shocked.
surprised.
No, I'm literally shocked that it's that low.
Okay, I just feel like no one's making the Bioshock joke. I don't. like,
I'm
No.
Bioshock.
thank you.
I wasn't. I was not making that joke.
Oh,
We can, as before, we can talk about what we voted for and everything before we wrap up.
Sure.
So we're down to the final 3. We have Outer Wilds, Sonic Adventure DX, Director's Cut, and Skyrim. So the way we normally do it is the most votes and then between the final 2. So winning by a fair margin with 16 votes, the first inductee of this final showing for the Joy-Clicks Hall of Game, the 7th total game, we have the Outer Wilds.
Yo,
Nice.
let's go.
First place.
All right. That's your pick, Kevin. I don't know why I'm so excited, but I am.
yo, I'm coming to tears, yo. I thought it was gonna be Skyrim. Oh, thanks, guys. Hell yeah. Let's go.
So, the second place between Sonic and Skyrim, it came down to a vote of 9 versus 11 for this second entry. The second inductee with 11 votes, quite fitting, we have The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim.
11,
Oh,
11,
wow.
11,
That is-
11.
That is fitting with 11. That's
Yes.
nice.
Hell yeah.
So Sonic
yeah.
Adventure did not make it in, but Outer Wilds, Elder Scrolls Skyrim, congratulations, Jack and
Damn.
Kevin. Good job.
Well done, Kevin.
Hell yeah. Good job, Jack. Hell yeah.
I'm shocked
everybody
Sonic
I knew
got
I
that close.
What's up?
I said I'm shocked
I'm
Sonic got that
shocked
close.
about Sonic too. Yeah, that's a shock.
I'm most interested in this round of voting because I'm very.
Sure. So
I
yeah,
thought
just,
Bioshock was gonna be one. Of
I thought it was gonna be Bioshock and Skyrim easily.
so I mean, yeah, when I was tallying, and then I saw some of the Sonic votes, and I was like, is Skyrim not getting in? But no, yeah. So
Perhaps you brought original Sonic Adventure. It would have got 16 points.
at 30
Who
frames.
You know, it's fine. It's playable.
Okay. So yeah, you just want to go Discord order, Mike? You want to talk about what you voted for?
Yeah, sure. So I gave 1 point to Skyrim. Nothing against Skyrim. I think Jack did a great presentation. Honestly, I think everybody did a great presentation. But I was just thinking about, things that were off the beaten path, if you will. Things that people haven't hyped up to oblivion. No pun intended. So that was my choice for 1 point. 3 points, I gave it to Outer Wilds. I didn't even know this game existed until you brought it here, Kevin. But it seems really interesting, and honestly, like I kind of want to play it now. Now that you
I
guys have
think it's
talked
on
about
Game
it so highly.
Pass, right?
I think
I
so.
don't think it is.
Oh,
I think
it left.
no,
It left
no.
recently, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, it
Oh,
left
that's sad.
recently. Okay, I see.
That's
Well, I definitely want to
$100.
find it. I definitely want to find it and play it because it sounded very, very interesting. And you gave a great presentation.
If you need help, I have a guide on IGN. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? I don't mean to bluff, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm
No,
saying?
no.
You can check that out. You get a little stuck, you know?
I
I
most
have
certainly
captions
will.
too, step by step, you know what I'm saying? I'll
Okay.
guide you through it.
I most certainly will check that out. And then I gave Sonic 5 points just because
Madman.
I feel like Sonic is an iconic character. He needs to be enshrined forever into the Joyplex Hall of Fame.
One day. Not this game though. Can't bring it again. So.
Or somebody else can. Maybe I'll play it and then bring it, Christian.
Hey, you'd have some votes. I can tell you that. So I'll go bottom to top then. I guess I gave 1 to Bioshock because I have a weird thing against that game. I don't know what it is, but Mike, I thought you presented it in a way that made me forget about the reasons I didn't feel a need to play it. And you kind of intrigued me with the painting it from a horror angle because the past few years I really fell in love with horror games, and I think that Bioshock, even if it has vibes of that, the way that Arkham Asylum's a horror game, maybe I'll check it out. I own it, you know. I'll check out the first hour maybe, but yeah, I gave that a point. Good presentation. Gave 3 to Outer Wilds because, again, like Mike said, Kevin gave a really good presentation, and I think the fact that it was able to grab you despite being outside of your genre, and you sold it really well. I will play that at some point, and then I gave 5 to Skyrim because it's Skyrim, and I'm sorry, but it has to be in here. So, and Jack gave a good presentation also. It wasn't just my history with the game. So.
I gave 1 point to Sonic because I liked Christian's argument of sort of dealing with this game's sort of baggage and Skyrim or Sonic's baggage as a whole, and sort of I liked how he sort of delved into that and broke into that throughout his presentation. I also thought it was very interesting that this game kind of saved Sega as a publisher rather than a video game hardware manufacturer. So I thought that was really cool. I didn't know that about this game. It has me interested to check out the series. I probably never will, but I'm certainly intrigued.
Hey, the first one, the one I'm talking about, hits $4 on Xbox a lot. So
maybe I'll check it out. 3 points I gave to Bioshock because that game rules. I said in my own quiet time that I played this in 2013 ahead of Bioshock Infinite. And I thought that it held up very well. And I liked how this was a first-person shooter at a time where everything that was first-person shooter was in a military campaign, and this is very much its own distinct story, and it just happened to be a first-person shooter. So I thought it used the genre in a very convincing way to tell a very interesting story. And then 5 points I gave to Outer Wilds because I think Kevin did a really good job of making me interested to play it. And I honestly especially liked how we didn't even get any visuals with Kevin's presentation. I thought that went a long way of imagining what the game looks like. And I've been very interested in playing this game, and I think Kevin did a really good job of convincing me to actually get it soon. So maybe over the holidays I'll play that game. But yeah, that was my 5 spot.
Hell yeah.
Oh, is it me?
sure.
I gave 1 point to, was it Bioshock? Bioshock's great. Put some respect on its name. I don't know. It was a classic. And then Mike did a great job. I gave 3 to Sonic Adventure. I have a really weird relationship with Sonic right now. I don't know what happened. It was I started that Twitch channel and I had I was let me play a bad, terrible game, and I put on Sonic Adventure. And I met a lot of great people like that, and I think it was because there's a vibe to that game that's just kind of wonderful and special, and the people who like that game were just awesome usually. So yeah, that game's a classic, one of the best of all time. I'll bring it next time. Next game I gave 5 points to was sorry, not Beatles. No, fuck game. Who cares about that one? I gave 5 points to Outer Wilds because look, Come on, it's probably actually the greatest game ever made. I'm not fucking around. I know I say that about Metal Gear Solid 2, but Outer Wilds is something crazy, like mind blowing. I was so happy that Kevin brought it. I honestly peed a little. There's a little pee on my pants right now. So yeah, thank you, Kevin.
Of course, I had to do it. Like there were a few different options, and I'm like, if I don't do it now, I don't know if I'll ever do it. You know, I just had to pull up with it.
Sure.
What's up?
You just reminded me. I was gonna say I almost did bring Skyrim. Because I got into it over Thanksgiving. I almost did it. So.
It's cool too because. Sorry, you go ahead.
What? No.
I was gonna say like we don't have 2 Bethesda games. We have 1 Obsidian game and now 1 Bethesda game.
Yeah.
True. I was worried that would be an argument against me, but no one brought it up.
No, I thought about it.
Yeah, I thought it too.
I gave Bioshock 1 point. I have a lot of respect for Bioshock. Even if I like fell out of it when I was playing the first one a few years back, I still always planned on going back to it. It just didn't catch me at that particular time. And to be honest, like out of the 3, I gave it the 1 point just because I truly figured that everyone else would kind of be on board, and that would have to be one of the top 2. So okay, like I think I got room to mess with that, but clearly we did not have room to mess with Bioshock. But maybe we'll get them on in the future. You know what I'm saying? Hope is not lost. I gave Rock Band Beatles a 3 because here's the thing, guys. Look, man. Shout out to rhythm games. I felt that there wasn't a rhythm game on our Hall of Game yet, and I feel like Omar gave a really good and concise presentation on like pretty much painting like, hey, this isn't like doing anything like extraordinarily different from other rock bands, but it doesn't have like any new faults that old rock bands like haven't had before, right? It's just like a rock band game that is specifically tuned around a group that is well acclaimed, and I think like that concept was a really good overall just like premise for like a rock band game. You know what I'm saying? Like have like one of like the classic bands, of all time. And have a game that's like centered and like curated around that. I thought was a really good idea. So Omar, the homie, I got you. And I gave 5 points to Skyrim just because like I feel like it would have been like insane if Skyrim like didn't make it on Hall of Game. Like inspired me like not playing it, not really into like that particular era, right? In not human history, just like I just don't like high fantasy that much. Not like a historical game. But I still got a lot of respect for Skyrim. Like it's on the same level of like Harry Potter, where like I don't like Harry Potter, but I can respect it, So shout out to Skyrim.
I'm bringing a dumb game next time, so just trying to offset things.
Yeah, he already decided. It is written down now. So.
Oh snap!
Wait, who's bringing dumb games? Both Christian and Jack?
No, he just DM'd me to call dibs on it.
I see.
He as in Jack?
Jack, yes.
What platform is that? Are you allowed to say?
Spoilers.
Okay, fine. Spoilers. Okay,
yeah.
It's okay.
No, we're not playing 20 questions.
Well, yeah, that is the final Hall of Game for 2021. The inaugural class, the gates are shut. We got Mario 64, Wii Sports, Fallout New Vegas, Apex Legends, then Portal 2, Mirror's Edge, Outer Wilds, Skyrim. I think that's a solid lineup. That's a pretty good.
I think so.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Pretty sweet. We got a first-party Microsoft game here before PlayStation.
Yeah.
Oh, trust.
That's a good point.
Omar, we gonna run it back next year. Okay, I got it.
Okay.
And
we got plenty to choose from.
Everybody on the panel got a game in this year. It happened.
That's true.
I really thought I wasn't gonna make it. I thought I wasn't gonna make it, guys.
I mean, I think also, Kevin, I think Outer Wilds, I'd have to look back, but I think Outer Wilds is the game that's gotten in with the most votes total I think there's been nothing that have gotten more votes than Outer Wilds did tonight.
Record breaking. Oh man.
So,
Shout out to y'all.
yeah. As far as what the next class will bring, we will see. The next time we will probably do one of these is March, as long as everything goes well. The ban list, I don't think we're changing at all. I think we mentioned we'd think about stuff at the end of the year, but yeah, as it stands, everybody who's brought something didn't get in, they can't bring it again. I think that keeps it fun. But yeah, any final words before we sign off? Anybody want to go around? You can all plug things you want to plug. Mike, we'll start with you.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Mike P. Connors. It's been a pleasure the last year with all you fellas. Can't wait to do it again next year.
Oh yeah. I'm at ChunTD2 everywhere. I'll echo what Mike said. YouTube.com/JoyClix is where this is, along with a bunch of other things that we've done before. And Goaty Talk will be January at some point, so look out for that. Jack.
You can follow me on Twitter at FascinatedJack. This was quite the pleasure throughout the year. These are some of the highlights. I love the quarterly discussions. And I will say, I have some games that I like over others on this list, but I think my favorite pick is Mirror's Edge. And it makes so much sense that it's on here, and I love it. Omar.
Yeah. So you had me think about Mirror's Edge for a second. Man, that game's awesome. You can find me at I guess it's still just here right now. Yeah, it was fun. Thanks everyone for the Wii Sports. I'll never forget how I was wrong for, like, the way I look at this is I just think about the characters I want to see on that graphic, and I want Tony Hawk on that. I want John, Ringo, Paul, and George on that. That one's probably never going to happen. Tony Hawk could still happen. I don't think John, Ringo, Paul, and George is going to happen. But I don't know. Maybe. No, I'm not going to bring AC/DC. Fuck that. Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone.
I'm like, damn, do I bring DJ Hero even though like I actually did not like that game?
We could put Daft Punk on it. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Oh, did they have a DJ Hero at Daft Punk?
Yeah, so they had some songs. Daft Punk had some songs in that game. But
oh, in DJ Hero.
Yeah, they weren't.
I thought it was like a spin-off.
No,
okay.
They should have. There was going to be a Daft Punk Luminous game that I'm still mad never happened.
It was what? Jay-Z and Eminem on the cover, I think, of DJ Hero?
Of DJ Hero? I remember
DJ
the cover being white.
Yeah, I just remember a box with like tie-dye stuff on it. But
interesting. Use the comments, plays and source. At PA Source Vids on Twitter, at the K Diaz123 on Twitter as well. Long time coming, you know what I'm saying? I went out sad a lot of months this month. Not this month, this year in terms of Holo game, you know what I'm saying? But if there was one game to do it, I'm glad Outer Wilds was the first one. You know, I'm glad this young king rose to prominence in the Hall of Game. Shout out to Outer Wilds, indeed. Thank you for the votes, gentlemen.
That's my favorite pick, I have to say.
Hell yeah! I want to like give like a fun. Do you know like a fun tip that's not spoilery, Omar? That we can give to those.
Gosh, I don't know. I know I told you some stuff, but I can't remember.
The
what
tip
I
is
said.
buy the game. That's not a
Also
spoiler.
that, yeah.
That's
Also
I'm going to follow that tip.
Yeah.
Buy it and like
Also
just stick with it for like 2 hours because it is frustrating at first, I think.
Sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I have to say my favorite pick was Mario 64 because it got in first and it was my game. So, you know, just gotta say. But yeah,
That game's awesome.
This guy.
Glad we all had a good time with this. Hope you all enjoyed watching and following along. Had a pleasure with all of you as well. Y'all made this great. So we will see you all in the new year. Enjoy the holidays. Stay safe. And yeah, we will talk Goaty at a different point. But the graphic will be updated tonight. Look out for it. See ya.
What do you even put for the Outer Wilds? Do you just put the logo on it, do you think? Or like a heart then? Like a
We can have a picture of the guy that you play. It's rare that you see him, but do you know how to see